medyo hinay-hinay lang ako sa boses class because of my voice is still not well. Namamalat pa rin ako, no? So anyway, bago pala itong problem na to, nakalagay ko rin rito for 4 years yata, no? So it should be 3 years. It should be 3 years. Okay, so let's start. So we have Far East Technology International Limited just paid a dividend of 1.25 a share. So that is D0 is equivalent to 1.25. So the dividend is expected to grow 6% a year for the next 3 years and then 4% a year thereafter. So what is the expected dividend per share for each of the next 6 years? So kung ang D0 natin ay 1.25, so if we have to compute for the D1, ito yung formula natin, D0 times 1 plus G1. So since yung growth natin is 6%, so that is 1.25 times 1.06, so 1.3250, no? So for the D2, so what we can do is to shortcut na lang. So we can do the 1.25 because this is the dividend, no? So we multiply this by 1.06 raised to the power 2. So we get 1.40405. And then for the D3, if we have the 1.25, dahil siya ay D0 nga, so for the third year, so 1.25 times 1.06 raised to the power 3. So we can get 1.4888. Now for the D4, since nasabi rito, 6% a year for the next 3 years, di ba? So kaya dito, 3 siya, and then 4% a year thereafter. So meaning on the fourth year, 4% na siya. Kaya ang nangyari ngayon dito is 1.25 times 1.06 raised to the power 3, then times 1.04. So we can get now 1.5483. Now on the fifth year, so again, since this one is the D0, no? Ito yung D0 natin, 1.25. So for the next 3 years, 6%. So 1.06 raised to the power 3. And then this is the fourth to fifth year. So we have the 1.04 raised to the power 2. So we have 1, sorry. Sorry class, may pa kasi. So it's 1.6103. Kaya naka-record pa class. So it's 1.6103. Okay? So any question or clarification regarding question 1 or problem 1? So did you understand, class? So can I see raise of hands? Kung naintindihan? Okay, number 2 tayo. So number 2, no? So Fortune Telecom Holdings Limited stock currently sells for 22 pesos a share. So just pay the dividend of 1.10 a share. That is D0 is equivalent to 1.10. So class, it is very important, no, to know what is D0 and D1. No, kasi yung D0 is always multiplied by the growth, no, 1 plus G. Kaya it is very important to know what is the D0 or the D1, ha? Kasi dyan madalas magkamali ang mga estudyante. So dito sinabi na 1.10 is the D0. So the dividend is expected to grow a constant rate of 7% a year. So what is the stock price is expected 1 year from now, and what is the required rate of return? So to compute for the price of the stock, actually dalawa yung ways natin dyan para mag-compute ng stock. Now we have the P1 is equivalent to P0 times 1 plus G. So since we know that the price of the stock at year 0 is 22, kasi ito, currently selling 22. So we have now times 1.07. So we can get 23.54. So that is the price of the stock in year 1, no? 23.54. Now for the required rate of return, So ito naman yung ating formula. So we have the D1, which is the dividend at year 1. Then we have the price at year 0 plus the G. No? So we have the 1.1 times 1.07 all over 22 plus 0.07. So we can get 12.35%. No? So for the P1, another way to solve for the P1 na class, we can use the formula D2 all over RS minus G. So we can use that also as the formula. Okay? So paano siya ngayon? Kung ito ay D1, therefore we have the 1.1 then times 1.07 raised to the power 2 divided by, this is the rate of return, no? Kaya lang dito kasi class hindi binigay yung rate of return kaya actually hindi natin magagamit itong formula na to, no? But just in case the rate of return is given, then we can use also this formula to compute for the P1. So again, we have the required rate of return of 0.23, I'm sorry, it's 0.1235 minus 0.07. Ganyan siya, no? So we should be getting also the same amount, which is 23.54. So let me check muna para sigurado ako, ha? 1.1 times 1.07 raised to the power 2. And then 0.1235 minus 0.07, 535. Okay, so it's the same class. Huh? So take note that class. So for the formula for the knowing the price of the stock, so we can use this formula. No, ito. Or we can use the P1 is equivalent to PO times 1 plus G. Okay, so this one is 1 year lang naman, kaya wala na siyang raised to the power 1, no, or power 2. But if you are going to use this formula class, take note that if this is P1, then this should be P2. Ha? Tapos kung halimbawa ginamit natin ay we're looking for the price of year 0, and we are going to get the D1. Ganyan naman siya, D1 all over RS minus G. Minus G. Okay? So kung halimbawa naman kinukuha natin ay T3, so therefore this one is D4 divided by RS minus G. Okay, tandaan nyo yan class, ha? Huwag nyo kakalimutan. Okay, so let's go to number 3. So we have Asia Standard International Group Limited as perpetual preferred stock outstanding that sells for 60 pesos a share and pays a dividend of 6 pesos at the end of each year. So what is the required rate of return? So this one is a dividend given to the preferred stock. So we have the D1, actually D1, and this is the price of the stock. No, yung preferred stock natin, 60. So that's why we have 6 divided by 60. So the required rate of return is 10%. Ngayon kung common stock yan class, siyempre meron tayong required rate of return. Kung anong return na kukumpitin natin yan, kung may dividend siya, tapos may change in price, then it will be P1 plus D1 minus PO all over PO, P0, sorry, P0. So that is the return for the stock with dividend naman, no? P1, that is the price of the stock at tier 1. Then this is the dividends at tier 1 minus the current price or the time you bought the stock. Then all over the price of the stock, no, yung current price of the stock. Okay? Number 4, no? So number 4, we have LIPO Limited has perpetual preferred stock outstanding with a par value of 100 pesos. So the stock pays a quarterly dividend of 2 and its price is 80. So tingnan natin dito, no, kasi quarterly to and they are paying it 2 pesos. So ibig sabihin nun, in a year, it has 4, di ba? 4 twos. So 4 times 2, so that is 8. So divided by 80, so that is 10%. So that is for the nominal rate, no? So hindi natin i-divide ng 2 lang yan, tapos divided by 80, no? Because we have to annualize it. So since it's quarterly, so times 4 natin yung 2, then divided by 80, so we can get 10%. Now, what about the effective rate? Now, for the effective rate, this is the formula. So we have the effective annual rate. So we have the 1 plus R nominal divided by 4. Now, yung 4 na yan, then yung quarterly. Then raised to the 4, and yung quarterly then minus 1. So since this is the percentage, no, yan yung nominal rate natin, ito. So yan din yung magiging numerator natin dito, 0.10 din. Huh? Yan divided by 4, raised to the power 4 minus 1. So meaning the effective rate is 10.3813%. Okay? So any question, class, before I go on? Question or clarification, class? Can I see raise of hands kung naintindihan? Okay. Especially if you watch already the video, so I'm sure na maintindihan nyo naman itong mga didiscuss ko nito. Ha? Okay, so number 5. Kasi dito, maraming nahihirapan dito actually class, ano? Dito at saka sa bond valuation. So the reason why I'm a little worried, kaya kahit na lang po nag-recollection kayo, sabi ko, mag-discuss ako ngayon, no? Okay, so number 5. So Yanzhou coal mining companies or reserves are being depleted. So its shares are falling. So also, because its pit is getting deeper each year, its costs are rising. As a result, the company's earnings and dividends are declining at a constant rate of 6% per year. So if D0 is equivalent to 6 pesos and RS is equivalent to 16%, so what is the value of Yanzhou coal mining stock? So yung formula natin dito ay ito, no? So the P0 is equivalent to D1 all over RS minus G. So we know that DO is 6. So we have to multiply that by the growth. Eh di ba ang growth natin actually is 1 plus G. Kaya lang dito, negative yung growth niya. Kumbaga, itong 6% ay negative kasi declining eh. Instead na maging 1 plus G yan, magiging 1 minus G. No? Kaya, I'm sorry. Kaya pagdating dito, it is now 1 minus 0.06. Then all over 0.16 minus negative 0.06. So we can get that the price of the stock should be at 25.64 at year 5. Year 5. At year 0. Nakita ko kasi itong number 5, kaya year 5 na sabi ko. So it's 25.64 at year 0. So that is your price, na? That is the price of the stock. Kaya kung bibili ka ng stock, ibig sabihin nun, you buy the stock only at 25.64 or lower, not higher. Huh? Lower, yes, but not higher. Okay, number 6. So number 6, we have Mirabel International Holding Stock is expected to pay a dividend of 0.50. At the end of the year, that is D1. So tingnan nyo rito class, at the end of the year. So ibig sabihin, that is the expected dividend. So when we say expected dividend, okay, end of the year, that is already D1. Pero pagka sinabing currently paid, no? Sinabi currently paid, ibig sabihin nun, D0 yun. Ha? So, and it should continue to grow at a constant rate of 7% a year. So if its required return is 12%, what is the stock's expected price 4 years from today? So yung formula natin class is we do not know the price of the stock yet at year 0. Diba? Kasi importante malaman natin muna yung price ng stock sa year 0 so that we can get the price of the stock at year 4. Kasi dito, hindi sinabi kung ano yung price ng stock at year 0. So the reason why, we have to compute first for the price of the stock at year 0. So the formula is D1 all over RS minus G. So we have the 0.50. Now we have the 0.50, which is the D1. Then we have the 12%, which is the required rate of return. And then we have the constant growth of 7%. So kaya meron tayong 0.50 all over 0.12 minus 0.07. So we can get the 10 pesos, which is the price of the stock now at year 0. Huh? So now we can get for the price of the stock at year 4. So yung formula natin, again, so ito ay P4 na ngayon. So we have the piece of O times 1 plus G raised to the power 4. No? So 10 pesos times 1.07 raised to the power 4. So we can get this, which is 13.11. Or if you want, now we can use this formula. So yan. Now we can use that formula. Excuse me. But this one is D5. Kasi P4 ito, kaya dapat ito ay D5, no? So D5 all over RS minus G. So we have the 0.50 tapos times 1.07 raised to the power 4. So bakit 4 lang ito? Kasi itong 0.5 ay D1. Diba? So that's why we only have to add 4. So kaya 4. Kasi ito ay D1. So that's why this is only 4. And then all over 0.12 minus 0.07. So we can get the same, which is at 13.11 when rounded off. Okay, so that is the price of the stock at year 4. Okay, gets class? Maliwanag ba yan? Eunice? Hello?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so I hope na you did understand, people, Okay, so number 7. Alam niyo, konti lang naman to, pinili ko yung mga yung mga yung para mako-cover lahat halos, no? Okay, so number 7 tayo ngayon. You are considering an investment in Jolly Mark Holdings Limited stock. So which is expected to pay a dividend of 2 pesos a share at the end of year 1, not day 1, which is equivalent to 2.20 and has a beta of 0.88. So the risk-free rate is 5.6% and the market risk premium is 6%. So Jolly Mark currently sells for 25 a share and its dividend is expected to grow at some constant rate G. So assuming the market is in equilibrium. So what does the market believe will be the stock price at the end of 3 years, no? So that is P3. So yung formula natin class again is of course P3 is equivalent to D4 over RS minus G, or P3 is equivalent to P sub O times 1 plus G raised to the power 3. Pero ang problema natin dito class, binigay yung market risk premium, binigay yung price ng stock, no? Pero ang problema natin, wala tayong RS at saka G. So we still have to look for the RS and the G, no? Okay, Vincent, question?
Napindot lang po, sir. Sorry.
Okay. So yung RS, we have to look for the RS first, no? Yung required rate of return at saka yung G. Kasi the RS are not given. Binigyan lang sa atin yung dividend, no? Na 2 pesos. Pero yung RS at saka yung G, they are not given. So they are missing. So meaning, we have to look for the RS and the G. So to compute for the RS, we can use the CAPM model. No, yung CAPM model na tinatawag natin. So the CAPM model, we have the RS is equivalent to risk-free rate plus the RM minus RFB minus A times B. So this is very familiar to you, di ba? Kasi sa risk and rate of return natin, risk and rates of return natin, pinag-aralan natin yung CAPM. So this time we are using the CAPM to compute for the required return. No? So given naman sa atin yung risk-free rate, no, 5.6%, and the 6% na market premium, risk premium. So beta natin is 0.88. So we can get now that the required return is 10.88%. So since you already obtained the required rate of return, no, dito sa formula na to, nakuha na natin ngayon ito. But this one, the D4 and the G, no, hindi pa natin alam yan kasi we do not have the G yet. So kailangan makuha din natin si G. So si G, to compute for that, we can compute for the growth rate, no, using the required rate of return. No? So this formula. So, kaya makikita ninyo, no, yung required rate of return natin, pwedeng gamitin natin yung CAPM. Pwede rin natin gamitin itong formula na to para makuha naman natin yung G naman natin. No? So, ito rin yung formula for the required rate of return at saka ito. Di ba? Kaya lang dito sa formula na to, class, we cannot obtain the G. But we can obtain the required return. But the problem is we do not know the G. So since in this part naman, using this formula, which is also the required rate of return, but this time we can compute for the G. So alam naman natin na ang required return now is 0.1088. Then we have the P2. No, ibig sabihin ng price P2 is, I mean, the dividend is 2. All over the price of the stock is 25, 10 plus G. So by multiplying the 25 here, so 0.1088, then eventually divided by 2, we can get that the G is equivalent to 2.88%. So alam na natin ngayon yung G, no? 2.88%. So we can apply it here now, no? So alam natin na yung 25 pesos is the price of the stock at year 0. And the growth now is 1.0288. No, I mean 2.88%. But since the formula here is 1 plus G, so it is now 1.0288 raised to the power 3. So meaning the price of the stock at year 3 is 27.22. Okay, maliwanag ba yan? So another one is that if you do not want to use this formula, we can use this formula. Tulad na sinabi ko, pareho lang yan. No? So we have now the 2.1778. So this is the D4 now. So that is, paano nakuha yung D4 by the way? Yung D4 nakuha natin yan sa 2 times 1.0288 raised to the power 4. So yan yung pagkuha dito sa 2.1778, no? So check muna para sigurado tayo. Bakit gano'n? 3, 2 pesos ba yan? 2 tama, 2. No? Check sa aking notes. 107. Okay, ulit ko. Ulit. 2.2 times. Kasi P3 yun. Ano nga pa yung P2? D1 na pala yun. Sorry. Dapat pala ito ay 3. No, sorry for that. So it's 2 times 1.0288 raised to the power 3. Okay, so tama, no? So sorry kasi ito ay D1 na pala, no? Yung 2 pesos is D1 already. So 2 pesos, yan ay D1, and we're getting the D4, no? D4. So that's why yung 1.0288 raised to the power 3 na lang. So you can get the 2.1778. So divided by 0.1088 minus 0.288. So still, we can get the same answer as this one. So pareho lang siya, class. Okay? Okay, number 8 tayo ngayon. Number 8. Okay, so ganito siya ngayon. So this time we have the variable growth rate. No? So this one is an example of variable growth rate. So pabasa ko na lang sa computer class kasi minamalat na ako. Ayaw.
Keypoint Corporation is expanding rapidly and currently needs to retain all of its earnings, hence, it does not pay dividends. However, investors expect Keypoint to begin paying dividends, beginning with a dividend of P1.00 coming 3 years from today. The dividend should grow rapidly at a rate of 50% per year during years 4 and 5, but after year 5, growth should be a constant 8% per year. If the required return on Keypoint is 14%, what is the value of the stock today?
Okay.
Answer.
Stop ko na. Yan. So, if you are going to use a timeline class, sabi nila kasi, now they will only declare dividend at year 3. Diba? Okay, nandito yung 1 natin sa year 3. So, there's no dividend for year 1, year 2, but there is a dividend on year 3. And then the growth rate at that time would be 50%. Okay, 1 times 1.5, so 1.50, and then times again by 1.5, so you get 2.25. But at year 5, after that, the growth rate will become 8%. So yun ang sinabi rito. Diba? 8%. After year 5, at year 5, the growth rate now becomes 8%. So to get the terminal value of the stock, so we will have the 2.25 times the 1.08. So that's why we can get 2.43. No? So dito multiply na natin yung 8%, no longer the 50%. Because at this stage, sa stage na yan, ang growth rate na lang daw niya ay magiging 8%. So that's why 2.25 times 1.08, so it's 2.43. Now to get the price of the stock at this point, which is at year 5, so we have the 6 lumalabas, diba? So we have now the 2.43, which is 2.25 times 1.08, so we have 2.43. Then divided by 0.14 and minus 0.08. So we can get that the price of the stock is at 40.50. So that is the price of the stock at year 5. Diba? Yan yung terminal value ng stock natin. So we add the 40.50 do sa 2.25 na to. So we can get 42.75. And then get the present value. So that's why we have 22.203. And then the one here, it has a present value of 0.675. And the 1.50 here, gumalaw. The 1.50 here multiplied by the 1.14. So the present value is 0.8888. So now the price of the stock at year 0 is 23.766. So yan na bali yung pagdating sa variable growth rate. Okay, so may question ba pagdating dito? Kasi ito medyo mahirap to, nakakalito. So do you have any question, class, regarding this problem? Question? Please raise your question. Kung meron man. Vincent?
None so far naman po, sir.
Okay, Rain? May question mo, Rain?
None po, sir.
Okay, so very good, no? So number 9 tayo ngayon. Number 9. Baba ko to. Ito medyo mahirap yung number 9 na to. Ha? So ipabasa ko lang muna ulit.
MITS Cosmetics Co.'s stock price is P58.88, and it recently paid a P2.00 dividend. This dividend is expected to grow by 25% for the next 3 years, then grow forever at a constant rate, G, and Rs equals 12%. At what constant rate is the stock expected to grow after year 3?
So for this problem, the missing is the rate for the growth. No? Yan yung rate. No? Yan yung nawawala plus. But we know, but this one is the constant growth rate pala, no? Constant growth, by the way. But we were given the, asan na yun? Ito yung dividend rate na 25%. Okay. So, yung 25% na to actually is a variable growth. No? Kasi abnormal growth yan, 25% until it become constant. Pero yung constant rate, hindi natin alam. No? But we can compute that using yung 2 peso dividend, no, recently paid. So which is that D0. So ngayon, ang gagawin natin ngayon, meron tayong 2 pesos times 1.25 for the D1, 2.5, and then 2 pesos times 1.25 raised to the power 2, 3.125, and then 2 pesos times 1.25 raised to the power 3, 3.90625. And then we can get, of course, the present value of this, no? By multiplying them by the 12%, which is the growth rate, 12%. Okay? So meron na tayo ngayon dito, 2.50 times 1.12 raised to negative 1, then 3.125 times 1.12 raised to negative 2, then 3.90625 raised to negative 3. So ito yung mga present values nila bali ngayon. No? So which is 7.5038. But remember, class, that we are given 558.88, which is the price of the stock at year 0. No? Yan yung price ng stock natin sa year 0. So ibig sabihin, yung D1 natin, ito na siya bali, no? Yan, mga to. Ito yon. On D1, present value ng D1, present value ng D2, present value ng D3. And this is actually the present value of the price of the stock. So, paano natin nakuha yon, no? So, we deduct from 58, ito pala, no, 58 pesos, dideduct natin yung 7.5038. Kasi ito nga yung nasa year 0 natin, price ng stock natin yan sa year 0. So, we deduct the present value of all the dividends. So, ibig sabihin, ang present value nung stock natin, ng price ng stock natin is 51.3762. Okay, so this time, instead of getting the present value, we're getting the future value. So, yung 51 natin na to, 0.3762 times 1.12 raised to 3, makukuha natin is 72.18. Kasi di ba ang ginagawa natin, class, di ba yung P3, na-add natin sa D3. No? Parang katulad dito, class. Diba? Ito. Yan yung price. Yung 42.75, kinuha natin yung present value. Ngayon, baliktad. No? Baliktad. Kinuha muna natin yung price ngayon, no, at year 0, and then we get a future value, which is the 72.18. Kasi at that point, we can get the G. Kasi meron tayong formula na P3 is equivalent to D4 or all over RS minus G. So yung D4 natin dito, no, is, teka muna, 2.5 is the, ito yung D, sorry this one is should be the D4 na pala to. No? So sorry, plus. Kasi 30, tama, no? D4 is 3.90625 plus 1 plus G. Kasi hinahanap na natin yung G. But the D3 is 3.90625. So kung D4 ang hinahanap natin dito, for us to get the G also, so we have the D3 times the 1 plus G makes the D4. But again, the G is missing. At tapos meron naman tayong required return na 12% or 0.12 minus G. So from there, na makukuha na natin yung 0.12 minus G, multiply natin sa 72.18, makukuha natin yung 8.6616, then minus the 72.18G. No, kasi ito nga, tinranspose natin, papunta rito, multiply natin doon, ito makukuha natin. Okay? And then this one, multiplied by 3.90625, we can get the 3.90625 plus 3.90625G. Ngayon, this one, the difference is 4.7554. And then, of course, once we transpose this to the right, added to this one, we can get 76.08625. Then eventually, now 4.7554 divided by 76.08625, we can get the G to be 6.25%. So yun na yung sagot natin bali sa number 9. Okay? So medyo nakakalito siya kasi that is not the normal process, di ba? Kasi normal process is that ito kukunin natin for us to get the present value. But this time it is backward because we would like to get the G. Okay? Okay, number 10. So this is the last problem. No? Although may number 11 dito, but this one is explained in the video. No? Number 11, I explained that in the video in the corporate valuation. So I hope that you already watched it or you will watch it. Huh? Okay, so anyway, this is another problem for the corporate valuation. So we have the Tingsin International Group is a fast-growing supplier of food products. Analysts project the following free cash flows during the next 3 years. So after which, free cash flow is expected to grow at a constant 7% rate. So Tingsin's WACC is 13%. So we have the cash flows, no? Negative 20, 30, and 40. So the first question is, what is the terminal value or horizon value? Pagka sinasabi natin terminal value or horizon value, yan yung value dito class sa dulo. Ha? So the formula is the terminal value is equivalent to free cash flow at year 4. So actually yan ay 4. Then WACC minus G. So we have the free cash flow at year 3 of 40. Diba? Ang kinukuha natin ay yung 4. So that's why 40 times 1.07 all over 0.13 minus 0.07. So we can get 42.80 divided by 0.06. So the terminal value is 713.33 million. Okay? Now, how to compute now for the market value of the company? So for the market value of the company, or the firm value of the company, is that we get, again, the present value of of the 20, the 30, and the 40, and the 713. No? Kaya lang inano natin yung 40 dun sa 713, kaya 753.33. No? So the present values using the WACC is 1.13 times raised to negative 1 times negative 30 is 17.70. And then 30 times 1.13 raised to negative 2, 23.49. And then the total of these two is 753.33. So the present value of which is 522.10. So we add the 17.17 negative, the 23.49, and the 522.10, so you get 527.89. So that is now the total value or the market value of the firm at year zero. Now, how do we compute for the price of the stock? Now, to compute for the price of the stock, we have to deduct the total debt and preferred stock. So yung 100 dito is the 100 million debt. No? Tapos meron siyang 10 million shares. Okay? So, kaya binawas natin sa 527 million kasi common stock yung pinukuha natin ng price eh. Diba? So that's why we have to deduct the 100 pesos, 100 million yan from the 527.89, so we can get 427.89. Then since we have the 10 million shares, not 10 million shares, so we divide this by 10 million shares. So the price now of the stock is 42.79. Okay? So by the way, when do we use this corporate valuation? Na itong process na to. So para dito. For the corporate valuation class, ginagamit natin yan normally if the company is not declaring dividends. No? Normally if they are not declaring dividends. So for us to price the stock of the company, we can use the corporate valuation using the cash flow, in particular the free cash flow. Okay, so watching the video will give you more yung clear view of the free cash flow. Okay, so nandoon yung explanation din dyan sa corporate valuation niya. Okay, so we're done with the exercises class.